The Mirror's Edge. Emma and Daniel had been married for 8 years. Their relationship, built on laughter, shared dreams, and a quiet kind of devotion, had weathered many storms. But, as the years passed, the fire that once defined their connection had dimmed into a comfortable but unremarkable routine. Emma, a freelance graphic designer, spent her days buried in projects and deadlines, while Daniel, a software engineer, worked long hours, often bringing his stress home. Their conversations became transactional, their touches absent-minded. Emma first met Alex during a business seminar. He was magnetic, a confident speaker with an easy smile that seemed to disarm everyone in the room. When he complimented her on her design work, something stirred inside her, a feeling she hadn't experienced in years. At first, their exchanges were professional. But as weeks turned into months, their conversations grew more personal, dipping into shared stories, secret jokes, and stolen moments. The moments felt like tiny flames reigniting something dormant within her. One evening, as Emma sat alone in the dim glow of her laptop, she received a message from Alex. "I can't stop thinking about you." Her heart raced as she stared at the screen. She knew this was a line she couldn't cross, yet something within her whispered, "When was the last time Daniel made you feel this alive?" Days passed, and she found herself drawn to the excitement Alex brought, the way he looked at her like she was the only person in the room. It wasn't just about desire, it was about being seen. It began with a kiss, a brief, hesitant kiss that quickly spiraled into something neither of them could deny. Emma knew she was risking everything, but she couldn't stop herself. With Alex, she felt seen, desired, and alive in a way she hadn't in years. The moments they shared became a whirlwind of emotions she couldn't explain, both euphoric and guilt-ridden. At night, she lay beside Daniel, wondering how she had let things get to this point. Daniel discovered the affair by accident. One evening, as Emma's phone buzzed with a message from Alex, Daniel glanced at the screen and saw the words, "I miss you." His stomach dropped. He picked up her phone and read through their messages, each word cutting deeper than the last. The intimacy of the exchanges, the tone of affection, it all felt like a knife twisting in his chest. When Emma came home that night, she found Daniel sitting at the kitchen table, her phone in his hand. His face was pale, his eyes red-rimmed. The air between them felt heavy, charged with unspoken accusations. "Is it true?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Emma froze. She wanted to deny it, to lie, but the weight of her guilt was too heavy. "Yes," she admitted, tears streaming down her face. "It's true." Daniel's silence was deafening. Finally, he asked, "Why, Emma, why?" She tried to explain how she had felt invisible, unappreciated, and lonely. How Alex had given her something she hadn't realized she was missing. But her words felt hollow, even to her own ears. Daniel listened without interrupting, his expression unreadable. "I need time to think," he said finally, standing and walking out the door. The sound of the door closing echoed in Emma's ears, and for the first time, she fully understood the gravity of what she had done. The days that followed were a blur of anguish. Daniel stayed with a friend, leaving Emma alone to grapple with her actions. She tried to reach out to him, but he needed space. The emptiness of their home was a constant reminder of the choices she had made, and guilt weighed heavily on her shoulders. She replayed their life together in her mind, remembering the moments of joy, the shared dreams, and the quiet nights when just being in each other's presence was enough. It wasn't until a week later that Daniel called her, asking to meet. The sound of his voice sent a mix of relief and anxiety coursing through her. She agreed, meeting him at a quiet cafe they had once loved. At a quiet cafe, they sat across from each other, the weight of unspoken words filling the air. Daniel's voice was steady as he said, "I want to understand. Not to excuse what you did, but to understand how we got here." What followed was the most honest conversation they'd ever had. Emma confessed how she had felt neglected, while Daniel admitted he had taken her for granted. They both cried as they confronted the cracks in their relationship, cracks they had both ignored for too long. For hours, they laid their feelings bare, each revelation cutting and healing in equal measure. Daniel suggested counseling, and Emma agreed. Together, they began the painstaking process of unpacking their pain, learning to communicate, and rebuilding trust. Counseling sessions were difficult but illuminating. They revisited the early days of their relationship, identifying where they had drifted apart. They learned to listen without defensiveness, to speak without blame, and to find empathy even in their pain. There were days when the weight of betrayal felt insurmountable, but there were also moments of hope, a shared laugh, a meaningful glance, a small gesture of kindness. Emma ended her relationship with Alex, cutting all ties. She knew the road ahead with Daniel would be difficult, but she was determined to fight for their marriage. And Daniel, despite his hurt, chose to fight too? They rebuilt their connection brick by brick, moment by moment. Months turned into a year, and slowly, their relationship began to heal. It wasn't perfect, the scars of the past lingered. But Emma and Daniel learned to see beauty in the imperfections, to appreciate the resilience of a love that had been tested but refused to break. They rediscovered the joy of small moments, cooking dinner together, taking long walks, and finding comfort in each other's arms again. In the end, their story wasn't about forgetting the past. It was about acknowledging their flaws, forgiving each other, and finding strength in the decision to move forward together. For Emma and Daniel, love wasn't a fairy tale, it was a choice, and every day, they chose each other. They chose to believe in the possibility of a brighter future, one built not on perfection, but on the enduring power of love and resilience. To enjoy other eccentric stories like this, please do subscribe and remember to hit the notification bell. Do have a great day ahead.